And we are live. Okay, where's my phone? It's in my pocket. Just gonna post this on Instagram, have some people hop in. First gonna check that you were able to join the stream, but it seems that we have one person in, so I'm just gonna make an assumption that we can. Yes, looks like it. Yeah, we got Jason in here already. Thank you, Jason. Let me just post this again on my Instagram story, and then we will get into all this fun stuff. I don't know how long this will be. This could be really long. It could be really short. It kind of just depends. Yeah, but we're going to go through every single movie I watched in 2022 that were the new releases. So yes, thank you so much for being here. So I watched 39 movies. Probably should have watched some more. If you can't hear me well, just let me know. I'll turn that up a bit. I watched 39 movies, it looks like, unless I missed some, but that sounds like a decent number for what I got. And I'm going to talk about them all. So I have them in these categories. I have the bad ones, the ones that were okay, that were meh, the good ones, and then I'll dive further into my top 10. So I didn't make a kind of best of the year video just because at the time, like typically I make it, end of December. I still hadn't seen so many of these like really big movies. So and there's still a few that I missed. So I put them in the description, but some of the big ones I still have not seen, but will be updated on Letterboxd and all that stuff are unfortunately Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I still really need to see. The Fablemans, another one that I'm dying to see. Avatar: The Way of Water. I haven't seen either of the Avatar movies. I just remember Puss in Boots. Let me check what else I put down there. I put some other stuff. So there's a few big ones. So if you're like, oh, how could you miss this? Oh, Prey. Prey is another one. So if you're wondering how could I miss this or why did I talk about this, that's why. And if you wanted to hear me talk about a movie, just put it in the chat and I'll tell you if they will be talked about later, if they've already been talked about, or if I didn't see them. You watched 40 last year. Some of them were repeats or older movies. I didn't log every single one that I saw last year. I logged most of them. And I can't count anymore because it's a new year. But so far this year, I've watched 16, which is a pretty good number. But for new releases, I've only seen one, and that is Megan. And I will be putting up that reaction in the next few days. I just haven't edited it yet. But without further ado, I think that I'm going to start it off with the bad. So we're going to go from worst to best here. How's it going, Alex? Good to see you here. Worst to best. So number 39 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This movie was terrible. This is like offensively bad. Like every single thing about it was just, I don't know how this was greenlit because the kills aren't good. It's boring. It's not scary. The dialogue is awful. It has one of the worst lines, if not the worst line of the year, where I don't even remember it exactly, but he's on the bus and the guy starts recording. He's like, "I'm gonna cancel you if you do this," and it's like, come on, like, is this written by like 60-year-olds who like learned 3 words and like new slang words and put them in? So I don't know. Been talking about Maverick for the 8th time yesterday at theaters. Only other one person with me. That's great that it's like still in theaters. I will definitely be talking about that one, but that'll come way later. So yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre was just terrible. I have a review of it, but I have a review of a decent amount, maybe around half of these movies. Typically more of the good ones, maybe a little bit under, but that was definitely the worst one I saw. Next to that is, of course, Morbius, one that has just become an absolute joke, just something that it took so long to make it and it never really was going to be good. And then it came out and it was worse than people expected. I mean, when he flew in the trains, I don't care how comic accurate it was. It was so funny. I see you here and I see everybody here. We got 4 people in right now. If you're watching on the replay, thank you. If you're wondering again about any movies that I am not talking about, just throw them in the chat here. We're talking about 2022 new releases. So yeah, Morbius, there's really not a lot I have to say. Dialogue's awful. CGI is not great. The whole premise is stupid. There are scenes that literally rip off Batman Begins, which is so funny, and I feel like whatever I could say, I can make a Morbius joke. There's nothing really more I can add to the conversation. It's terrible. 37 is The Munsters, another Rob Zombie movie, and I quite like his movies. I enjoy them a lot. I like House of a Thousand Corpses. Devil's Rejects is really good, and then Three from Hell isn't that great. I like both his Halloween movies, though. I know that's kind of controversial, but I like them both, and I haven't seen the other ones. I was supposed to, but I forgot. Monsters, though, is just unfortunately straight up bad. I like Sherry Moon Zombie in this movie. I thought she was good. The main characters are fine. Like I understand it's just the kind of prequel, I guess, to the old series. And being as Rob Zombie such a big fan of the series, I did have more expectations, but yeah, it's just filled with terrible humor. It's not interesting at all. So many people I know turned it off, but I was like, you know what? I'll watch the whole thing. And yeah, it just turned out to be really, really bad. And I hate to say it because I do love Rob Zombie so much. I love his music, and I love a lot of his movies, and I think his stylistic choices can be really good. This one, being such a passion project, didn't feel like it. It just felt like a studio mess. So I hate to say it, but that's the truth. Yeah, it is pretty crazy that we had both those because they were both shows around the same time. I'm getting stuff from Instagram. Ignore those. Yeah, but those were really the truly the worst movies I saw this year because typically I don't go and watch a movie that I think is going to be terrible. Now this year, my goal is to watch more than. Actually, I'm going to make the goal right now. My goal is to watch at least 50 new releases. So this was 39. Um, but Rob Zombie's a great artist. I have not seen Lords of Salem. I haven't seen Lords of Salem or 13, but I might make a reaction to those because I made a reaction to both the Halloween movies. If you guys are interested, if you haven't seen them, those came out in October. But next we are going to move to the mass. So these movies are they're kind of the in between. Sorry, I have to be careful where I'm sitting on my chair because my cat's on it as well. So if I'm sitting straight up, that's why, because I don't normally. But these are the movies that are they're not bad, but they're not really all that good. They're just like, yeah, I watched them, sure, whatever. The first one I want to talk about is Turning Red. Now, this is new-ish, came out last year. Movie on Disney Plus, and a lot of people like this, and a lot of people did not. And I definitely fell onto the side that did not. It was again, it was just a fine movie overall. There is absolutely zero part of me that wants to watch this movie ever again. And that kind of sucks because it takes place in Toronto and I like or Toronto if I want to say it properly. And the idea of the movie is a fun, Disney Pixar. I forget if this is this Pixar. I think this is Pixar. I'm pretty sure. I don't even remember fully. I'll be completely honest. But the result is just unfunny, not interesting characters at all. The main plot feels stupid and just the most on the nose. Um, what is the word? Kind of like it's all for puberty. I'm completely blanking on what the word should be. Like symbol for puberty. It's just they're using this panda and it's a fun idea. The result is not interesting. It's a movie that feels way longer than it actually is. It's something that I'm surprised I made it all the way through because I was just so uninterested in it the entire runtime. I'm gonna sit down and give this a good shot. Did not enjoy this one coming out of it, and if you did, I'm jealous of you because I really thought this one stunk quite a bit. It's not the worst thing I've seen. That's why I'm putting it into the meh category, but it's definitely down there right now. Lightyear, went for the Martian Valley. I actually never watched Lightyear because there was something about it that it was just like kind of off-putting to me, and then I guess I just never got around to it. I probably should because I think it looks like it will be fine, but hopefully better than this one. Next up, Honor Society. Anna Gorishrais, however you say her name, and Gade Matarazzo. A movie that feels like another Disney Channel original thing, just, like, with hints of maturity in it, like, and they're not as hidden with all these themes. It was a Paramount Plus exclusive, I think. I don't have Paramount Plus, but I did end up watching it on a car ride, or I think, yeah, it was either a plane, but I'm pretty sure it was a car ride. I'm gonna be completely honest, within the first 5 minutes, I almost shut this thing off. So I'm surprised it doesn't go to the bad, and this movie is actually, like, decent, like, it's not terrible, but then you get to the 3rd act, and they reveal something, and it just ruins the entire movie. It ruins everything the movie's going for. Like, the whole point of the movie of, like, accepting people, whoever they were, blah, blah, all that stuff, which is something obviously we've seen before, but still an important message. 3rd act comes around, something is revealed, gone, boom, and I'm like, "What?" Like, it's something that I bet a lot of people saw coming, but I guess I just didn't. It was weird. Gaten Matarazzo was still solid in the movie. The lead actor was, pretty okay, like, pretty good, but her character got really annoying. It wasn't even her, like, she was good in it, and the same with Gaten. I don't know, it was so itchy, but, Gaten was good in it as well, but the writing was just really, oh, it just did not do it for me, and there are other parts of the movie that feel like they're almost more important when it comes to other character interactions. If you've seen it, I don't wanna spoil any of these movies unless it's something that I know everybody has seen, but, yeah, this was one that really felt like, one of those Disney Channel original ones, and then about halfway through, I was like, "Okay, I have a little bit of faith in the movie." Third Act comes around, ruins the entire thing. So, it definitely falls into the low part of the meh, and talking about meh, we can talk about Men. See what I did there? Men, the A24 movie with the weirdest sequence of the entire year in that 3rd act. I mean, talk about polar opposite 3rd acts. This was a movie that I heard a lot of really good things about. So I was excited going into it, and I really enjoy A24's movies. Most of the time, I think they're a great studio. Obviously, everyone loves them now, and I will talk about more of their movies later on because some of them were really good. This one, on the other hand, was very, I want to say beautiful to look at, but considering some of the stuff in the 3rd act, I don't know if I can say that. Very, all the landscapes were great, and I will say that Jessie Buckley, pretty sure that's her name. She was really good in the movie. She was really good, and there's a lot of suspense here, and you're wondering, like, what is going on when she sees the tunnel. She sees the person at the end, like, what is going on? And you're kind of on the edge of your seat. But then as stuff starts to make sense, I'm just like, what is happening in this movie? And there could be all this metaphorical, so this is for rebirth, this is for this, but really it just sucked and got so boring at a time. I mean, production design good cinematography, good sets and landscape, like it felt like I was really in the countryside here, and I liked the initial idea of it. But the outcome, especially at the end of the movie, I mean, like, I don't normally feel uncomfortable watching movies, but considering my mom was sitting behind me in the car, when I was watching this, I was like, just slowly turned away because, yeah, it was pretty weird. But yeah, like there were good scenes though. That's what I mean. Is that the Echo title scene, where she's singing, and then that, like, there's good ideas and there's good moments. Like there was the moment where she talks to the boy outside. I think it's a church. It's been quite a few months, but and they seem like they'll be good scenes. And then something happens, and I bet a lot of people are like, "Oh, I like the turn in this, or I like this," but it just didn't do it for me. Oh, the cat is up and ready to say hi to everybody. Is that right, Lilo? You wanna say hi before you leave? Say hi. She definitely wants to just go. But now I have a back to the chair, so that's good. Okay, come on. Let's talk about the next movie. One of the most controversial movies when it comes to opinions, Halloween Ends. This will be a fun discussion. I do have a review of this movie up. I didn't have a review of Men, Honor Society, or Turning Red, but Halloween Ends I do have a review up of. And I mean, you guys know that most people at this point are really like, what was the point of having a Corey character and all this other stupid stuff in the movie that was advertised to be the grand finale of this huge, decades long franchise, and then we get Halloween Ends, and it is filled with characters that are unlikable, barely any Michael Myers screen time. Although I'm pretty sure I saw a statistic that said there is more Michael screen time in this movie than there is in the original. So let me just see what it says. During the first testing of the entire time, what are they thinking? Generally love the last 20 minutes. That's fair. I mean, the last bit is good. And I know that there were a lot of people out there that enjoyed it. I know Jason enjoyed it. Yeah, it was different. It was a weird approach. My dog's gonna start barking. There it is. Somebody ring the doorbell. I think Ben from Mirror Reviews, he also enjoyed it, but personally, I just haven't been a fan of the recent. I'm gonna tone this down a bit. The recent Halloween movies. I mean, I know a ton of people love the 2018 one. It's very just, it's not that good for me. And then Halloween Kills. Yeah, that's what it's called. I'll sound the same. Should have been the end. They should have just taken that. That movie felt like that movie and Halloween End should have been shoved together, and they just cut out all the unnecessary parts of it. Sorry. I just, yeah. And by the end, I mean, considering this was the end to this grand franchise, and it's advertised as Michael versus Laurie Strode, and then we get the movie we got, which was even more of a stupid metaphor for evil and filled with new characters that weren't even advertised. I'm pretty sure that Corey, if that is his name, I'm pretty sure it is, isn't on like the Blu-ray cover or anything. So yeah, I don't know. Oh, I might have missed. I have seen 40 movies of this year. I realized that I just looked at one of my tickets and I forgot to put this movie on, but I will be talking about it pretty soon. So I've actually seen 40 movies from this year. But next up, we have the movie Fall. Now, Fall is a movie that some of you have probably heard about, some of you haven't. It's where two friends go up, and they're like climbers, and then her boyfriend dies at the start, so she's scared of climbing, whatever. And they go up. One of them's like an influencer person, kind of that type of movie once again. And then they get up to the top of this, like one of the tallest things they can climb, and they get stuck up there. And Fall, you can kind of guess what the whole movie entitles. Most of it is very intense, and it was a movie that my girlfriend was really excited to see. I saw the trailer, and I was like, that looks interesting. And then I saw the trailer about 20 million more times in the theater, and I was like, okay, I can kind of guess. And then as I actually paid attention to the trailer, I realized that it spoiled most of the movie. So there was that. But we watched it at home, and it was totally middle of the road fine. Like that's really, the movie was just, I watched it, I enjoyed it, but it had plenty of problems, but it was still pretty fun, and it was over, and I haven't thought about it since I really have looked at this list or saw it advertised on Netflix or whatever else they added it to now, I think, or Prime Video, one of the ones in Canada. And honestly, okay, this is actually a good question. Will fall make me feel sick if I get nauseous easily? I get vertigo sometimes because of certain camera work. I think that you might have to close your eyes a few times because the camera spins as like stuff falls on it, or just the way it tracks stuff. But again, I wouldn't say that I could recommend this movie to people, but if someone's like, I'm gonna watch this, I wouldn't be, this isn't like Morbius or The Monsters or Texas Chainsaw where I'd be like, oh, don't watch this. Like, you will not enjoy it. But this one, I know a lot of people really enjoyed. A lot of people hated it, thought it was stupid. It is insanely predictable, and some of the reveals are just straight up dumb. But it was an okay, fun-ish time. I think, yeah, I just this one extra movie kind of threw me off a bit. But next up, we're talking about The Tender Bar. Now, this was the first movie, I'm pretty sure the first 2022 movie I watched. It's a Prime Video original. Ben Affleck's in the movie. And honestly, I have not thought about the movie since it came out. I have a review of it, and that's, I mean, it's fine. It's got some good sequences, got some good dialogue, direction's okay. It's a fine looking movie, although it does look like some of the other Prime Video originals, if you know what I mean. Like, it has that bluish, greenish, yellowish, well, no, yeah, blue, kind of the bluish greenish tint to it a lot of the time. But it's a wholesome-ish story. I don't really have much to say because I watched it probably over a year ago at this point, but It's on Prime Video. I watched it. Was it George Clooney that directed this? Oh, it might have been. Maybe that's why I watched it. Is that why I watched it? Let me just check. I have Letterboxd pulled up here. I probably was him. That probably was another thing. I honestly don't remember fully. I think yeah, it was he directed the movie, so that makes sense. Yeah, Ben Affleck. I mean, like, it's got an interesting plot. Sorry, my cat likes to flop around back there. But that's really all I can say. Next up is the most disappointing movie of the year. I'm gonna take a drink of water while you think about what that could be. Yeah, it's an okay movie. Yeah. Ambulance. I still haven't watched Ambulance. I almost watched it a few days ago. Let me know if I should. It made a weird noise. But the most disappointing movie of the year for me, as well as my computer loads. There we go. Plenty of other people. Thor: Love and Thunder. Oh my god, this movie just like I loved Ragnarok. I love Taika Waititi. I love Jojo Rabbit. I love so many of his movies, but oh my god, this one just I mean, coming off of Thor: Love and Thunder, and coming off of Thor: Ragnarok, and then we have Infinity War, Endgame, all this stuff. How do they fix the character of Thor? Whatever. Trailers looked slightly interesting. You have Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher. Most wasted character I've seen in a while. He's probably my favorite actor, and every scene with him was great. And there were hints of greatness in this film. And I love Taika Waititi. Love his direction. I love his acting. I love his writing. But I have to say, um, wow, when I was like halfway in the theater and watching this movie, I like felt like sad because I was disappointed. Um, yeah, and then you get to the end and it's so short too. It's one of like the shortest MCU movies, I'm pretty sure. If I remember correctly, it's under 2 hours, which is also weird. And everything's rushed through. Uh, the emotional moments are almost laughable at times, and of course, wasting the character of Gore was such a mistake, and Christian Bale being how great he is. Yeah, I mean, I really wish I could like this movie, but I didn't, and that's the sad thing. I mean, it's on a few streaming services, so it's really up to you if you purchase that for yourself. And yeah, the Russell Crowe, that was fine, and like there were funny moments, but it was just like it was almost like too Taika Waititi, which I hate to say because I love him so much. Oh, he's back. He's back, everyone. Constant viewers. This guy's back. Yeah, he went a bit too far. But yeah, this flop is definitely towards the end. But the next movie we're going to talk about, I have the ticket for it here. Another fun superhero movie, Black Adam. I hope you guys can see that. For some reason, I didn't have it on the list, so I have seen 40 movies. I miscounted. Maybe I missed some other ones. So if I remember it some way through, Black Adam. Wow, what a bomb. I mean, all the drama with the movie first and how now it's not getting a sequel, and it's another one of those where the post-credit scene is actually better than the entire movie, and the entire movie is predictable. I like The Rock. Like I think he's a great person. His movies are a lot of the time not for me, but Black Adam was I saw it a little bit later. I think that's to my knowledge, I don't have a review of it. I don't think I do. And I saw it later than I normally do with these superhero movies because everything was already revealed to us from The Rock and from all these people online, all the people that were actually involved in the movie. There better have been a lot of people that got fired for that. But wow, this one just not funny. There's, like, 0 intensity, even in the intense scenes where you're like you should be like, "Whoa," like, "I'm so interested to see what's gonna happen." No, I'm just like, "Okay, yep, sure, that happened," like, so disposable, and the DCEU has been on a roll, I think, recently with the Snyder Cut and the Suicide Squad, so this one was another dud in it and would definitely added to the whole James Gunn thing and why he's gonna be fixing it. So a movie that I never want to see again, or at least don't plan to. Would I mind if I watched it again? No, because I don't think it's terrible. I just don't think it's that good. It's like I watched it once. There were enjoyable moments. It was a fine movie. It finished. Don't have any plans to watch it again, especially if he is not in the future of the DCEU. I just want to look at these what these other tickets are to make sure that I don't miss anything. I think I know what they are, but okay. Yeah, so some of these movies I have tickets for, some of them I don't. It just depends on if I get them online or if I get them when I go there. It always changes. Another ticket out of wallet there. I just have a fun story. I did talk about my theater experience last night, but okay, so A Justice Society is the best part. Yeah, but even that just felt, too on the nose. Next, we're gonna move to finally the good section. Now, this next movie, a lot of people are like, "Did you mean to move to the good section?" I did. I think this movie just reaches the very bottom of the good part. That is Jurassic World Dominion. I enjoyed this more than most people. I know a lot of people hated it. Pierce Brosnan, he did do a good job. It was nice to see him here in a good way. Yeah, yes, in a good way. But Jurassic World Dominion, a lot of people really did not like. I enjoyed it. I completely see every single problem people have with it. I think it was just the chemistry that a lot of these people had, and seeing them back on screen, especially Jeff Goldblum. Yes, I love that man. And there were some exciting moments. Was it way too long? Absolutely. But even like most people's complaints with the movie, too long, unfocused, like all that stuff, like, yeah, you're not wrong, but there was more enjoyable moments in it. Again, do I really have the plans to watch it again? Not really. And yeah, most people do, even though it was a dumb. And see, okay, good. More people enjoyed here, so that's good. But especially Fallen Kingdom, I think sucks. I think that movie's not good. I really do not like it. Hello, cat. What are you? Keep pushing on the lever that moves it up and down. Um, I so my little. I think I made it. I'm pretty sure I made a ranking of them, but I love Jurassic Park, obviously. I really enjoy the Lost World as well. Jurassic Park 3 sucks. Thank you though, Jason, for sending me all three of those on 4K so I could watch them. I'm definitely going to be watching the original Jurassic Park because it's awesome. Jurassic World is okay. I definitely watched it too much back when it came out. I really really enjoy that movie for some reason, and it's better. Well, it's better than this one. Fallen Kingdom came out. It sucks. I hate that movie. I really don't like it in theaters. I did not enjoy it. And then I didn't watch it up until rewatching all these movies for Dominion. So I think that probably added to my, I'm not gonna say my love, but my enjoyment of Dominion. The middle part of the film felt like James Bond, which was, yeah, it was just so, yes, thank you, Jason. It was just very random, and even like the moments where the plot wasn't that like interesting, like if there was just stuff that the whole like bug stuff, not that interesting. It was just the dynamic between the characters, which I enjoyed. I feel bad for the people who couldn't enjoy it. I did. Next, I'm actually gonna go grab this movie because I realized I do have it. I brought over some other ones, but give me a minute to also let my cat out. Come on, let's go. Wanna go? Free. Go ahead. Go. If I can find it. Oh, there it is. I must say the weirdest packaged movie of the year when it comes to physical releases, a movie that I was bound to enjoy, as stupid and goofy and maybe not as great as it actually is. Studio 666. Rest in peace, Taylor. It's, you know, it's stupid, and I know a lot of people. I'm pretty sure Joe from Guy at the Movies hated this movie. Said it was one of the worst, and like, I'm not even saying it's a great movie. It's just so fun, and it's so dumb that's what makes it enjoyable. Like, obviously, I bought it. I want to watch it again. Seeing this movie, and I didn't make a review, but it is bunched together in like a live stream I did forever ago when I like talked about Turning Red and Pam and Tommy and like a few of them. Seeing this and saying Taylor was the best part and being as big of a Foo Fighters fan as I am, and then we got the news about Taylor. I mean, that really got me, but, it's so dumb, but it's so funny. I mean, like, you don't even like, if you were spoiled for this movie, like, if somebody was like, "Oh, this happened," you're like, "Okay," and then you go and watch it, like, you're gonna enjoy it that much. Like, it's the plot doesn't matter. It's just the stupidity and craziness of what's happening in the movie. It's a fun one. I know some people didn't enjoy it, but since I'm also a massive Foo Fighters fan, that helps out. I also want to remind people that we're 30 minutes in, and my review of The Last of Us episode, what is this, 3 or 4 now? Is this 3? Episode 3? I think so. I'm trying to think. I think it probably would be episode 3 at this point, but that'll be uploaded as a short because I am going to watch it. But again, it'll be another night where I won't have much time after this, so it will be there. Um, Bottom tier of good list is The Menu, not as good as I wanted to be. Some parts are so hilarious, dark, and cynical. I'll be talking about that movie in a little bit. I know I'm gonna take more time here. I'm gonna talk about some of these movies quicker now because I have reviews of some of them. The Adam Project, very enjoyable, very fun. I love Ryan Reynolds. I have a candle of him back there. I love that man so much. A lot of people didn't love it at first, but more people have come around to it, which I enjoy. I'm pretty sure I reviewed this, so if not, I'm sorry. This is just again from memory, but it was fun. I mean, thinking back on the movie, the cast is also really good with Mark Ruffalo and who else is? Oh, what is her name? Oh my God, what is her name? It's like I can picture her perfectly in my head. Oh my God. Jennifer Gardner. There we go. That's her name. Walter Sco- Walk or Walter Walker Scobell plays a younger Ryan Reynolds to perfection. So yeah, it was a pretty fun sci-fi movie, especially for a Netflix original. That's like, I don't feel mad that I'm missing out on this in theaters. It was a fun watch at home, movie that a ton of people can enjoy, and it's not like it's like that hard of a watch either. Like, it's just a fun sci-fi action movie. If I'm glitching here, just let me know. Multiverse of Madness, I know for sure I have a review of this. Definitely not what we were expecting for certain things in the movie, and it also has one of the biggest, most crazy reveals of the year, which you all know by now, but I'm still not going to say it. You guys know who it is. Which, I mean, shocked me. I was so yeah, just surprised when that happened. But I enjoyed this movie more than most people, although I can't say I love it. I mean, I love Sam Raimi's direction. Performances are great. So many things about this movie that was awesome. But considering it was shorter and called Multiverse of Madness, it's kind of like almost like a misleading title, because sure, there were those moments, but a lot of those moments were cut short. And Elizabeth Olsen was great, and Benedict Cumberbatch and everybody else in the movie, they were awesome, but it just it wasn't what it was built up to be, but it was still a good, enjoyable movie. So I will say that. The Menu, it's a movie soon. Yeah, it's really great. Like, I really enjoyed the movie. I think it's really good. I watched it on a plane. I will talk about it later. The younger kid playing Reynolds was so weird. Didn't make sense. He was trying to act like the adult version of Reynolds. Okay, I don't exactly see what you mean, but opinions. Next up, we have X, one of the 2 movies featuring Mia Goth in the same universe that I will be talking about. A lot of people really enjoyed this when it came out, and then like after like a few months, so many people started trashing on it. I know Chris does not like it at all, and Ben, like Chris from Films, like it. Ben Meter, Paul did not like it. I mean, Meter's reviews, he did not like it. Trevor, Film Geeks, liked it and then watched again and didn't really like it, but I enjoyed it. It's a fun throwback slasher, and I think I saw it before Pearl, so I feel like watching Pearl and watching this, it'll amp this one up to be better. But it's just a fun, good old fashioned. Oh my God, I was mixing the words good and old together. Good old fashioned. There it is again. Slasher movie with some cool moments that definitely, looking back on it, was amplified by Pearl, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do in Maxine. But I just had so much fun with this movie, and I really want to watch it again. I don't understand the whole not releasing the 4K and then releasing it differently like months later. Um, and then not releasing Pearl on 4K, but they're probably going to later on, so that's why I've waited off on buying it, but it's fun. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like it, but for me, as horror is my favorite genre, seeing a classic slasher movie like this once again with all the adult, literally, especially in the plot of this movie, natures of it, it was fun. It was cool. Sticking with A24, we had X there. Now we are talking about Bodies, 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 a movie that I did not see for a long time. I watched it towards the end of December. Okay, I kind of see what you mean now. 1, 2, 3 Rock Band. I watched towards the very end of December. Really good, really smart, interesting, clever horror movie that still felt very modern. That kind of goes to the opposite almost of X because X took place back 70s ish era. At least that's what it felt like. I think it was around then. But Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. As I'm yawning, had a great cast, fun characters. You know, Pete Davidson's awesome, but there's even Maria Bakalova, who's in Borat 2. You just have so much with this movie. The characters are funny. It's like got a good mystery with it, but also is so funny that you're never, at least for me, I was never kind of like, oh, this is kind of stupid or this is too modern and stuff like that. The kills are also brutal, so it was a really fun time. I know I didn't make a video of it because I saw it so late. I went into it with pretty decent expectations because everybody who saw it really loved it, and yeah, I thought it was pretty sweet overall. Pearl and X on Blu-ray, awesome. I hope you've watched them. I think you have. Yeah, that's what I appreciate too. I'll talk about Pearl in a little bit. We'll see how long. Next, we go on to one of the, I want to say the most, but one of the most surprising movies of the year for me, which sounds weird because you're like, I expect you to love this movie. And I really enjoyed it. That movie is Metal Lords. Now, the title alone says it. This is a Netflix original movie about heavy metal, kind of more so. A lot of people are saying, it actually made you yawn. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry for that. That always seems to happen. Metal Lords. Hi, Cat. She's back. Metal Lords was just a lot of fun. You got some young actors that are cool. We got the one guy from It and two other ones that I wasn't familiar with. Isis Hainsworth, I think her name is, and I forget what the other guy's name is. Hunter. Every time I go live on TikTok, somebody says, "You look like Hunter from Metal Lords," or "You look like Hunter from Metal Lords with blonde. You look like the guy from Metal Lords." So I heard it a lot, but I really like how they encapsulated all the classic metal with it. Tons of Black Sabbath, of course, which I love, and playing it on different instruments was really cool. The whole ending sequence, that song they wrote is awesome. I learned it back when I watched this movie. Again, I didn't review it because I took so long to watch it because I just assumed it'd be like another cheesy Netflix music movie, but no, it was actually really solid, and I'm surprised of how good it was, at least in my opinion. Now changing on to another movie that a ton of people think is amazing, and a lot of people didn't really like that much. I was quite satisfied with it, but also very confused, and that is Nope, the newest Jordan Peele movie. This is definitely not my favorite from him. I think this is probably my least favorite of them, but as more people have been posting about it, I've been thinking about it more and kind of making more sense of it. So I do want to go back and revisit this one, but coming out of the theater, I mean, I was so confused with so much of what happened, and I think that is totally fair. And even when the movie opened, I wasn't sure if the whole monkey sequence was in the movie or not, and it was. So it was a very bold movie, a very gorgeous movie. I mean, the night cinematography, I don't know if it's ever looked better. I mean, it is very hard to capture what the actual night looks like in a movie. Like you can see, at least I can, especially when you have snow on the ground. Oh my god, you can see well because the whole reflection thing, but this movie does not have snow. Um, Definitely confusing at times. Still a lot of things that I'm not sure on. Lots of grand references that like, is this a reference to the biblically accurate angel? Is like all this kind of crazy stuff, but just a very thrilling movie that definitely confused me. But the more I think about it, the better it gets. And Steven Yeun is also awesome. It would have been a cool miniseries. I'm glad it was a movie, but that's cool. And yeah, it's not a movie that's for everyone, and it's one that really makes you think, which I enjoyed about it, but definitely has its fair share of issues with how confusing it exactly is. Hopefully you can hear me and not the people downstairs. Next up is one of the more underrated ones from the year, one of the ones that I watched early on. Some people say it's 2021, some people say it's 2022. It officially was released on streaming and all that in 2022. So I count it. That is The Fallout. This was the first movie of the year that I watched with Jenna Ortega and Maddie Ziegler, I think, however you say her name. And it was shocking, to say the least, going into this movie knowing nothing about it, and then the real plot of the movie kicks in, which I will not say because I highly recommend this movie. It's on Crave in Canada, so I assume probably on HBO Max. Um, Very sad. Subject matter is very important, very sad, something that hits close for a lot of people around my age. And again, I don't want to exactly say what that is because, sorry, I went into the movie not knowing anything. I didn't even read the description. I was just like, oh, I've heard this movie's good and the actors in it are cool. Like I watched Jenna Ortega since Stuck in the Middle or whatever that Disney Channel original show is called. So yeah, it's quite a tough watch. I will say there are plenty of moments I can see why you cried that were very tough to watch and felt super realistic and more proof it really kicked off. I think this came out before Scream 5, so I'm pretty sure I could be wrong. Maybe Scream 5 came out before this, but kicked off an awesome year for Jenna Ortega, who was already in X and Studio 666 even. I know she's in Scream 5, which I did not see, but I will. Nope was a little divisive. Cinematography, sound performances. Yeah, oh my god, the sound was amazing. Direction, performances also awesome. Now we are jumping into the top 20. Top 20, unless I missed some, which I don't think I did. We're gonna start this off with Smile. Not my favorite movie of the year, but one I still think is very good. I went into it with quite high expectations, I will see, because when I first saw that trailer, I mean, I was terrified. I love horror, as I said. I've gotten to the point where a lot of things don't scare me too much, but this movie did look quite horrifying. I did not see it in theaters because the timing of it was all off, and I said to my girlfriend, I was like, we are not going to see this movie because you should not see it, because she saw Barbarian and was terrified. I will talk about Barbarian in a bit, but she was like horrified from Barbarian. So I was like, I know to not make the mistake, bring her to watch it. So I did watch it quite a few months later, I think, yeah, end of December or maybe start of this year, I think, like very start of in the first few days. And yeah, it is scary. And that is no surprise if you saw the trailer. It really is that scary. Towards the end, I will say the ending did leave me a tiny bit disappointed. I'm just talking about this more in depth because I did not film a review for it. But yeah, it's also very sad, as you said, like the whole plot and the real stuff that it focused on. Like it's got a very good plot, very good acting. The lead actor, I don't know what her name is, but she's also really great. But it was just kind of the stuff towards, you get to the main thing the movie is talking about, and I don't want to spoil it. And then we have the final stuff, which didn't impress me as much. I was like, oh, that feels like almost a cheaper way to opt out of it, but I still enjoyed it for the most part. I think it's very good. I don't need to watch it right away again because it was quite scary. Um, I just realized that I forgot another movie that I did not put on this list. So I've also seen 41 movies. Scrolling through it, so this movie would be put lower down than some of the ones I last talked about. I have a review of it, but don't worry, darling. I also thought it was a lot better than people said. I have a full review of it. Ignore the dog; she barks randomly. She's dumb. But next up is My Policeman. That's what reminded me of it. My Policeman was probably the biggest surprise of the year. I mean, considering all the crazy stuff that happened around Don't Worry, Darling, and just, it's Harry Styles, oh, he's an actor or whatever, all this stuff. Just watch the movie and don't see it as Harry Styles because his performance is great here. I mean, it's pretty good in Don't Worry Darling. I thought it was solid, but here it's great. And the whole love story of this hidden relationship, and we've had that kind of stuff done before, but I just love the way it was shot. And it's an Amazon Prime original, and just the cinematography was gorgeous. The performances were great. It was very, very sad. Um, a movie that a ton of people hated on, and the real thing is, like, would they have hated on if the exact same performance was done by somebody who wasn't Harry Styles? Probably not. I like him a lot. I love him as a person. His music most of the time is pretty good for me. I like a lot of his stuff quite a bit. Not everything, not the more poppy stuff, but the more rock stuff is very good, and it's very sad at times. But this movie is another one that you should bring your tissues to because it is sad. Not the saddest movie of the year. That one is in the top 10, but definitely up there. And now we have another movie that focuses on a gay relationship. This is the hilarious Bros, a movie that I feel so bad that I missed in theaters, but I did end up finally watching it. And the best way to describe it is, do you like Billy Eichner? Okay. Do you want 2 hours of him? I love Billy Eichner. Totally cool with 2 hours. This is one of my favorite comedies of the past few years. The first big studio LGBTQ plus comedy, romantic comedy that um, Billy Eichner plays with the tropes of this, but also makes fun of them at the satirical elements. And I mean, the whole relationship core of the movie is really great. If you guys have not seen it, you guys need to. Again, I feel bad because I didn't see it in theaters. It was just another one of those, like, Smile. It was, I think it came out around the same time. So some of these movies I missed when they were in the theaters for all different reasons. I would definitely want to watch this movie again. Not right away. Billy, yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like Billy on the Street is great. And I'm not saying it's only Billy Eichner because there's other very important characters, but the movie dives into some pretty important topics while also, again, playing with fun stereotypes and also telling just such a beautiful, sweet story. And surprisingly, for a Judd Apatow produced movie, who I do love, it was not too long, like The King of Staten Island. So that was also nice because I was a little worried about that. Number 17 is Hustle, this Adam Sandler basketball Netflix original movie. Another movie that when it came out, a lot of people loved it. I think it's great. I have a review of it. But over time has been talked about less and less, but Adam Sandler's performance is great. And the basketball player, I forget what his name is, but he is a real basketball player. Also really good. The whole plot of it, I think, is just really smart, feels realistic. Everything feels so raw with the movie. I mean, this feels like another one of those passion projects for Adam Sandler. Somebody who I've always enjoyed, but Punch Drunk Love is phenomenal, and Uncut Gems is great. And this is just another one of those type of performances. For some reason, we're getting Murder Mystery too. I don't know why, because the first one sucked a lot, but I was very interested going into this movie, and it turned out really well. If you have Netflix and for some reason you haven't seen this movie and you like basketball, I mean, I'm not the biggest basketball fan, but I like Adam Sandler and I like sports movies, and this is not the stereotypical follow this one. It has different things with it. Great performances, great writing. I mean, it was a real surprise, I will admit. It's not a stupid basketball comedy, and I also love a lot of his comedy. I love The Wedding Singer. Billy Madison's great. Gilmore's great. There's a lot of them that I enjoy, and some that I enjoy more than other people. But this was another one that's more serious and that's really good. And yeah, I 100% recommend it. It is very, very good. Number 16. Let me drink when I'm by myself on live, especially after going for 48 minutes. Oops, I realize that I get very tired of talking, but good thing we got The Last of Us coming in just under an hour. There we go. We have Bullet Train at number 16. I do not own this one, but Bullet Train was an absolute blast. I mean, it was so fun. Oh, sorry, going back to Hustle. Yeah, it's really good. It's very good. For Bullet Train, I mean, I love Brad Pitt, and there'll be another movie of his that I'll be talking about later on, as I've said a few times for some other actors, but this is just such an absolute blast. One of the funniest, if not the funniest, maybe the funniest movie of the year. I'm not 100% sure. One that's really great that Um, a lot of people love, and it's just one of those. It's not trying to be anything more. Like it's not like we are the greatest movie in the world. It's like is a fun, smart, just entertaining action comedy thriller type, all these genres put in one, characters that are so lovable. Uh, what is his name? Lemon and Tangerine were great. I mean, the whole cast was very good. There's one person in it that I don't really like as a person, and it's not that they did a bad like had a bad performance or did anything. It's just that they annoy me. I talk about that more in my review. And some surprises like Bad Bunny being in this movie. Just looking at the poster again, I mean, so many people. My only one of my only real problems is towards the end. I mean, the movie feels so like crazy and fast and kind of funny like that because they are on a bullet train. But when it starts to break the whole reality part with Aaron Taylor Johnson, I was like, okay, I kind of enjoyed it more. But it's a super fun, well-made movie like this. It's so funny, possibly the funniest of the year. I did not see Vengeance. I remember when I saw the trailers, I was like, "Ooh, this looks cool," but I did never end up watching it. I just remember that now. Top 15. Okay, we're in the final stretch here. No, we'll probably go for like 20 more minutes. We have Fresh, a what is this? A Hulu original, I think. Is it Hulu or is it? I don't even know what the original is in the States, but this was on Disney Plus, the Star version. That's what we have in Canada, which is great. Sebastian Stan absolutely kills it. I forget what the main actor's name is. Let me just check real quickly because she was also really good. Daisy Edgar Jones. She was also awesome. This whole fun play on dating apps in the dating world, and then put into a cannibalistic point of view. Surprisingly, not the only cannibal movie that we got from this year that is in my top 15. Uh, don't think anything of it. I am not Army Hammer, don't worry. But this one was just like, again, it was another one that was so surprising, kind of came out of nowhere. And especially around the time, I think that around the time when Pam and Tommy was there as well. So I was watching a lot of again some ads, so that's why it's glitching a bit. But watching a lot of Sebastian Stan content on Disney Plus Star. But this one was really good because there was a lot to really enjoy with the movie, but it had fun twists and turns, a lot of stuff that you wouldn't really expect, and a lot of craziness. Like I honestly, while watching this movie, I didn't know where it was going, which I really enjoyed. But even the whole play where towards the beginning where she's on the date and the guy shows up and he's like, "Why didn't you like dress up more?" And he's wearing like some shitty thing, whatever. And it's just like got some good social commentary in it too. It was a very, very fun movie. Something that I don't think I'll watch in the next few years, but something that was a very, very fun time, very well made movie. Next up, we have The Menu, a movie that we were talking about a little bit earlier here, but The Menu blew me away. I mean, this one was awesome, and it could even move higher up on the list. Performances, I love Anya Taylor-Joy. She's one of my favorite actors ever. At this point, I've seen so much. There's another movie of hers on here. Really great. Ralph Fiennes or Fiennes or however you say his name, also awesome. I mean, the whole cast was great. Hong Chow was in the movie, which I was like, I didn't even realize that she was in this and The Whale, the movie I'll be talking about. And everybody, the cast was great. Oh my god, I missed another movie. I need to be. I've watched what 42 movies. Okay, and the other one I just realized is Violent Night because it has the same actor in that one and this one. Oh my god, I really should have checked this before. But yeah, but that one would have been a little bit lower down, but I reviewed it, so you can check that out. Sorry. Yeah, this is funny. I'm not gonna say what that is, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I watched this on the plane back at the very start of this year within the first 5, 6 days, and it blew me away. It was so intense. I had no idea where this was going. And after one certain thing with one character that doesn't seem like a main character, and then something happens, you guys know if you've seen the movie, some big thing, life-changing thing happens, if you know what I mean. I was completely on board, and freaked out in not in like, scary way, but I was just like, "Oh my god, I have no idea where this movie is going." And the way the character dynamics and the interactions, and then you have a lead-ish guy who seemed like he was a lead guy, the start, but didn't really turn out to be, who was just so obsessed with the chef's work and how he does everything, and even when all the crazy shit's happening, he's just so unfazed by it, and everybody's freaking out. And I don't want to say much about the movie because there is so much that that you need to see this movie. This is one of those that I could say everybody needs to watch if you like these type of movies because it was really great. But that's one that I have to be careful on. The movie felt like demented version of Ratatouille. That's one way to put it without the actual rats. Yeah. Next up, we have Barbarian at number 13. Another movie that I do have a review of, so I'll just talk about it quickly. But has one of the most horrifying sequences of the year that is so well directed. The director just got another film greenlit, so that's really great to hear because very weird movie. And as I said, it freaked my girlfriend out, and I can see why. I mean, that whole basement sequence about 30 minutes in was very scary and so well done. And it's a very weird movie, has some weird moments, and changes up completely like part of the way through with Justin Long's character, but in the end was so satisfying for me. This is, I think, my third favorite horror movie of the year. This was a great year for horror. For a lot of the stuff we had, all the good horror movies I talked about before. If you can count Studio 666, X, Bodies, 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 Nope, kind of, Smile, this one, and then two more that I'll talk about later. Needle drop. Oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean. That, yeah, Barbarian was just really great. I do have a review of it. The next movie I also forgot to grab on my shelf because I forgot I owned it. We got The Northman. There's better posters than this, I will say, like the one that's mainly on Letterboxd, but this one is a very good movie. I absolutely love Robert Eggers. That's his name. I was like, if I forget his name right now, that'd be so embarrassing. It's not. Yeah, this was some weird thing. They only gave it a digital release, but it's on Disney Plus for us, probably on Hulu or something for you guys. I don't know for the States. But talking about The Northman, I saw this in not the best theater experience, seeing this in the theater in town, which already is not good, and then seeing it on a small screen with under 100 seats in theater. I don't even remember how many, maybe, should I say even under 50? I'd say somewhere 50 or under seats. And yeah, it for a big Viking epic that this is, it wasn't the best theater experience, but I did buy it. I've not had the time to rewatch it, but it's awesome. I mean, the characters here are so good. The cast is great. Again, more Anya Taylor-Joy that I really enjoyed. Yeah, me too. I feel like I don't know why they didn't, because so many people love the movie. But talking about The Northman, sorry again. When it comes to Robert Eggers, I don't know if I like this or The Witch more. The Lighthouse is my favorite. That movie is one of my favorites ever. But I'm just so excited to watch it again because the action sequences are huge. The character moments they just feel so great. This whole movie is just this huge scope movie that unfortunately I saw in the not the best theater spot. I don't think I did end up putting a review for it because I felt like I didn't get the full experience that I wanted. But looking back on it, I mean, it was really great, and it's one that I will probably watch sometime in the next few weeks. Throw it back here. More Robert Eggers love, which I always enjoy. Next up, we have a movie that Jason sent me. Thank you, Jason. We have a movie that will do very well at the Oscars and very much deserves it. That is Elvis. Eggers is remaking Nosferatu. I did see that. I think that'll be cool. Elvis, which I just realized is still in the packaging, which I never normally do. Yeah, Elvis, huge, flashy, grand movie. led by a performance of Lifetime by Austin Butler, who literally became Elvis and still was not able to shake the voice, which so many people mind. I was like, he grew up more. It's fine. It's funny seeing him and like, oh yeah, he's Tex in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and then going and putting on this performance. I mean, it was crazy. The one thing I will say that I don't love is that If I Can Dream has been my favorite Elvis song for a while before the movie came out, and then everybody saw it, and I'm like, oh, I can't gatekeep that Elvis Presley song. I mean, I know, but still, everybody loves it. That's been my favorite. But was it more of a Colonel focusing on Elvis movie? Yes, but still, it's a huge, flashy, I mean, crazy, directed, very well, but crazy directed movie that again it has its problems. All these movies do. It definitely should have focused more on Elvis, but I don't really want to be talking about the negatives. I have a review of this if you want to see that. This movie is awesome. I cannot wait to rewatch. I've just been finding the time with my girlfriend because she wants to watch it, and I did not believe after I walked out of it that somebody could top his performance, but there might be one more that I will talk about soon. But this one's great. I cannot wait to rewatch it because it truly is one of the best films of the year. On the flip side of that, 123 Roxanne says 2.5 trailer. I understand why people are joining. Yeah, I do wish they included more of the end of his life. But yeah, probably the deep voice. Yeah, I mean, he used to walk down the beach, he said, with doing the Elvis laugh, which I think is pretty funny. Now we are jumping. Yeah, his performance is out of this world, incredible. Top 10. Okay, we're finally here after just getting an hour into it. Number 10, we have. Probably should be careful of what I'm showing with these tickets. I just didn't realize that for the first one. We have anything more? Nope. If I can fold it properly, Pearl, if the camera wants to focus it, Pearl, which I said I would talk about. You guys knew it was coming here. This is my second favorite horror movie of the year, like straight up horror movie. Mia Goth absolutely deserves all the praise for her performance. We all unfortunately knew the Academy wouldn't recognize it. Most people wouldn't, but I'm glad that all the fans would. This is my second favorite A24 movie of the year. A24 had a great year. This is much better than X. X is really good, has a few problems. Pearl is phenomenal. The monologue towards the end, oh my god, that scene just blew me away. It's not a perfect movie. It has a little bit of pacing issues, but so many iconic moments. I'm a star already. I mean, when you have a movie that has a bunch of iconic moments already, you know that you did something right. And the budget of this movie only being like $1 million, I'm pretty sure Ty West also edited it. I know he wrote and directed it. Yes, lots of Wizard of Oz moments, and I really want to rewatch this one, but I do want to wait for the 4K because it will probably happen. And I can't wait for the further announcement on Maxine. And considering we got X and this in the same year, only months apart, that is crazy impressive. I was just so blown away from this movie, and I think it's truly was one of the best movies of the year. Made it number 10. Number 9, we have a movie that okay. I want to tell more of my theater experience with after I talk about the movie. We have covered this. The Whale. We have, I think I probably showed part of it there, but we have The Whale, a movie that I finally saw for the first time last night, one that I knew would break me, and it absolutely did. Brendan Fraser is an icon, and if you've been following my letterbox, you would have known that I watched The Mummy, and then I watched Airheads, and then I watched this, and then about like an hour or two later after watching this, I watched Encino Man. So those two back to back were very fun, and I will still be watching more Brendan Fraser movies. It's Fraser, not Fraser. I saw a video where he said that. I did not see this movie. I do need to watch it, but I did not see it. The Whale was just heartbreaking, crazy sad. I mean, as I said, I did not think there'd be a performance that I would consider better than Austin Butler. I was like, oh, he'll clearly have the sweep for like there'll be no competition. And now we have this performance, and it's a hard decision. But as of this exact moment on this live stream, I am leaning towards him because he truly transformed into this character. I want to be careful in what I said because I know this one is hard to find. It took me so long. What's that, like over a month to find it in theaters at least. I've been wanting to watch this one for so long, so I'm so glad to finally watch it. I'll talk about my theater experience in a minute, but just Darren Aronofsky is a director I've seen Requiem for a Dream from, which is just the most terrifying, depressing movie that is not a horror movie, and then Black Swan, which is also really great. But this one, just one location, tight dialogue, 4:3 box aspect ratio. Probably my favorite A24 movie of the year, if I'm not wrong for the next 8. But yeah, it's even knowing some of the big bigger quotes, although okay, I probably shouldn't say the more popular quotes from the movie. I don't know that one thing right with that stuff. It broke me seeing it in the theater. I didn't cry because I don't typically cry with movies, but I was very close to, and the connection between him, Sadie Sink, and then Hong Chau was just really great, and having the true evilness of Sadie Sink's character balance out the optimism of his character was something that was really nice to see. All the religion parts of it, for me as a non-religious person, was very, I don't want to say satisfying because that makes me sound like an asshole, but they put it in a very interesting perspective that questioned it and challenged it and expressed a lot of my feelings on it, and did it in such a way that focuses on somebody who lost their partner, their gay partner, they hurt his boyfriend, to certain things that relate to church, and something else that relates to another character in this movie. It's a small cast, small movie that feels so important. I will say the way it ended, though, it ended too soon for me. Um, yeah, the last scene of it, not my favorite way to end it. I was like, "Oh, it's over? Okay." But I understand it and everything makes sense, and the repetition and some of the stuff, performance is out of this world. But I do wanna talk about my theater experience. So I showed up there, to my girlfriend last night, out of town, quite, a good distance out of town, not too far, but about 45 minutes, and, walk into the theater, movie's gonna start in probably 5, 10 minutes, and the previews were a little blurry, but I was like, "Whatever." Went to the bathroom, came back, and the text, we have this thing for Cineplex that's like, "You love movies, we love movies. That's why we show the best. This is," all that stuff has clips of movies, whatever. And I was like, "The text looks really blurry here." And I assumed that somebody had said something because one of the workers kept coming back and forth, to like check on it, and it was still blurry. And then the movie started, and it was slightly off center. They did move it to it. I know it's 4:3, but still, you could see like the black line from like where the projector ended, the like slightly gray, and whatever. And the whole movie was not in the best quality, which you're like, how did they not fix it? I don't know. Truth is, I don't know. So sometimes when he's looking up stuff in his computer, I like lean forward to be like, okay, it definitely still is blurry. It was quite a full theater, I will admit, but a lot of old people. So towards the end of the movie, and then when I was like, okay, I kind of just got used to it. And thankfully, this isn't Blade Runner 2049 or even Babylon or Top Gun Maverick. Like that would have been an issue. But this one was a smaller, more subtle movie like that, and you get used to it. But yeah, it was a little annoying trying to figure out what he's writing or what's going on there. But luckily, they did, as we were leaving, give us all a ticket for like free admission to another showtime because they said sorry, like we couldn't fix it, whatever. Or I guess it was just too soon to the showtime. A lot of the old people were like, "Oh, I thought it was just my eyes," and I said, "At least my contacts are working." So not the best experience when it comes to the actual screen. Sound was all great, and I still feel like I fully watched the movie. It's just felt like it wasn't in the best quality, which is fine. But there's my little story. Sorry, I went on for that for a while. Next up, we have Knives Out. Glass Onion, a Knives Out story. Not the best title, but Glass Onion was awesome. Absolute blast. I did not review it because I saw it about a week late. I wanted to originally see it in theaters, but I couldn't find it. I'm a huge fan of the first Knives Out movie, and this one is equally as good. Daniel Craig is awesome in the movie. The whole cast is great. It's great to see Kate Hudson, Edward Norton, Dave Bautista. Yeah, I can go off and list, Janelle Moore something, I forget what her full name is, but awesome. I mean, everybody. I could go off and list every single person in the movie and say they were great. They were the mystery, the whole flip part of it, some of the way through the movie, which, definitely added a, top 10 of the year Twitter moment with Ben Shapiro's dumbass not understanding how mystery movies work. Funny lines. Yeah, I agree. I don't think anything tops the one comment towards the Jacob, whatever his name is, he's in Metal Lords, whatever that one comment about the boy in the bathroom. That's all I'll say. But yeah, and they're gonna make a bunch of these. So this was just really great. So much fun. Camera work is energetic. A lot of people are like, oh, we knew where this was gonna go, but I mean, I didn't at least. There were moments where you're like, sure, I'm gonna guess it, but the movie's like aware of that. It's like, okay, you know this, well, you didn't know this part of it, and helps add to all that. It was really good overall. I know I'm talking about it fast. I just want to kind of get through a few of these movies because my voice is starting to die out. But next up at number 7, we have Bones and All, movie that I did review. So somehow another cannibal movie from this year that ironically was from the director of Call Me by Your Name and also Timothy Chalamet, but no Army Hammer, which is the main cannibalistic thing in Call Me by Your Name, which was a movie, Call Me by Your Name, that I really enjoy, but it feels so much longer than it is. When you're halfway through, I'm like, oh, I thought this movie was ending. This movie is an improvement. Um, it's beautiful in the most unexplainable way. I mean, if you're like, "Oh, yeah, this cannibal movie, Bones and All, yeah, it's beautiful, and all the metaphors are great." People be like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" But no, it is phenomenal. Performance-wise, 2 of the best, performances, especially from how do I say it? Like this, I don't want to say this genre of movie because it feels like so much. It's like it's a drama, which seems so broad. Um, it's a drama, but there's a thriller aspects. It's not really a horror movie, yet it's so beautiful in the end. And I mean, I love Nine Inch Nails, so the score from Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. Trent Reznor is one of my biggest idols, and the original song towards the end, really great. Should have been nominated. I'm pretty sure it wasn't nominated for an Oscar. So it's coming out Tuesday. Oh, that is good to know. Thank you, Jason. I hope it comes out on 4K because if it does, then I will pick that up right away. And if it's on Blu-ray, I will look at it for sure. But yeah, just a movie that through its full cannibalistic metaphors and Mark Rylance's amazing performance as well, just truly was beautiful. And it is very hard to explain that to people who are like, why are you saying a cannibal movie is beautiful? But it really was. All the metaphors, everything. If you can, it's not that hard to, but when you do see through everything, it makes a lot of sense. But yeah, that's Bones and All. I have a full review of it. Next up is one of everybody's favorite movies of the year, The Banshees of Inisherin. I think that's how you say it. Blu-ray only so far. Okay, that's kind of what I expected. It seems that we're lacking some 4Ks recently. Talking about Banshees didn't get one. I don't know if the menu did or if it is, but Banshees has some of the best dialogue of the year. A simple plot. You have 2 best friends, and one of them decides he doesn't like lifelong best friends. One of them decides he does not want to be friends with the other one anymore. There you go. Play with 2 hours of that or whatever, hour 40, I think hour 50 something. And somehow it's hilarious. The little donkey is like the best character of the year. So sad towards the end. You got 2 Oscar nominated performances, or at least one for sure. I think, is that 2? Yeah, I think 2 of them now. We had Colin Farrell and whatever his name is, who plays Mad Eye Moody. I can't remember. And I know that these guys have been in Bruges together, in Bruges, however you say it. I still need to watch that movie, same director as well. But yeah, this is the best way to describe it. A darker version of a Seinfeld episode, because it just feels like an average everyday thing, but you have the whole, how do I don't want to spoil it, but what a certain character decides to do about halfway through the movie is pretty funny in a very dark way. And he did get nominated for an Oscar because they showed the confession scene, how hilarious that is. And even towards the end, like, I felt so like touched by the movie, even though it's not like anything huge happened. Like everything seems so regular and this feels like something that could happen. There are so many deeper things in it that like you don't even realize on your first watch. And that's why I really want to watch it again. Not right now, but soon. I mean, it's really great. It deserves all the love it's getting because it's such a simple movie that I don't even want to say simple because it sounds like I'm taking away from it. It's a subtle movie that is just so good at every single little thing it does. Colin Farrell absolutely killed it this year, yes, with Batman and Banshees, two totally different performances. Um, Next up, we have a movie that I was bound to love, Mr. David Bowie. This is Moon Age Daydream, Brett Morgan's documentary film, one of the best and most unique documentaries on Bowie. This is also coming to Criterion, so whenever that announcement gets made, I will be giving away this movie. Also, I don't think I gave this digital code away to anybody, so if somebody wants it, there it is for you, if that works. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. If it does end up working, then take that out of the case. But a lot of people said that this feels like Bowie is narrating from the afterlife, something that I don't believe in, but I think that is the best way to put it. It felt more of an experience. This isn't just sit down interviews with people. I don't think there even is a single one for the whole movie. If I remember correctly, seeing this in IMAX also blew me away. I mean, David Bowie's my favorite solo artist ever and one of the greatest musicians and people to ever live. And having him say, life is beautiful and stuff like that, it touched me, of course. But also seeing the concert footage and the reaction from so many people. Yeah, this one was really great. I can't wait for it to come out on Criterion because we'll get even more. But I was so satisfied with this movie when it came out. I was, when you go into somebody like David Bowie, who had such a big impact on me, you guys have seen that through the channel. Poster of him all around. You got a poster of him here. You got a poster of him here. Another one there. A ton of his records over there. It was perfect for what it had to do. This is the fifth movie of the year, one of the 6 5-star movies of the year. Banshees was the first one, and then Moon Age Daydream. Next up, we have one that is my favorite horror movie of the year, starring one of my favorite actors and people in Hollywood, the amazing The Black Phone. Thank you, Jason, for sending me this awesome edition, which is still in packaging, and also sending me the Blu-ray so I can actually watch the movie. Ethan Hawke absolutely kills it in this movie, but also Mason Ramsey, I'm pretty sure, is the kid's name. He is so good, and the plot seems so simple, and it really is like this movie is not something that is even barbarian or something that just has these like crazy reveals, but little moments made this film. And after I walked out of it, I was like, this is one of the best horror movies I've seen in the past few years. This is one that inspired me like no other. I mean, I made a skit for my review, which I haven't done in so long. I was like, wow, I really want to write stuff. I want to make movies. And when a movie does that, it's touched you on a different level. And even with a movie with a sadistic sadistic killer trapped in a soundproof basement where screaming is of no use, as this says. And then you have a movie like that inspires me so much. Of course, Ethan Hawke's in it, so I'm gonna love that part of it. But the whole thing was just amazing. I have a review of it, but the main thing is it inspired me to want to make movies even more than I already do. And same thing with the next movie, which I have proof of I saw in the theaters because I had flopped at a very sad level. Yeah, very subtle, very dark, awesome. But the movie I'm talking about is, of course, if it focuses, oh my God, Babylon, if it wants to do that. I did see this in theaters for anybody wondering. Unfortunately, I missed out on films like Bros and Smile and stuff like that in theaters. I saw Babylon in theaters and my mind was blown open. I mean, I love Damien Chazelle. Whiplash is one of my favorites of all time. La La Land as well. I have not seen First Man still. Babylon was a movie that, or Babylon, however you want to, I think Babylon, that's just how I say it, is a movie that I was worried for going into it, but was one of my most anticipated because after it came out, I mean, so many people hated on it. It's too long, it's too this, over all that stuff. And we had a movie with Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt about love for Hollywood and movie making with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with a different perspective. And people in here that didn't enjoy it, which is totally okay. The second favorite film, but yeah, you see the complete opposite. And I really did not think a movie was going to pass The Black Phone or Moon Age Daydream, really, but Babylon did. And towards it's a long one, and you feel the length, and I was thinking back and I was like, but I like that because I love these characters. I love spending time with them when they finally get shot or get the moment. Like I really felt like I was there making it with them, and then when they get it, you're just like, you just want to yell out and enjoy it. It was just so good. It's very sad that it flopped so much and lost so much money, but and didn't get nominated for cinematography. That is, oh my god, the performance is great, writing, direction, is sets, everything about it was really great. And I know some people did not enjoy it or did not go and see it, but when it comes out, this is going to be a day one purchase. Typically, you don't go back and rewatch over 3 hour long movies right away, but I will for Babylon when that comes out. Number two, a lot of people have these next two movies as 1 and 2. If you're wondering what my number 2 is, Top Gun Maverick with this beautiful steelbook that Jason CARR sent me. Thank you so much, Jason. What can I say about this movie that hasn't already been said? One of the best action movies, action, drama, everything. A movie that has been released in the past, probably all time. Honestly, at this point, I'm a big fan of the original, but it definitely has some problems. Top Gun Maverick is the superior. Just like this is everything that it was built up to be. A movie that I saw the trailer for every single time I went to the theaters, and I like almost got sick of it. Then I saw this. Oh my god, my mind was blown. So many emotions. I'm not gonna say what scene, but there's one scene with an older character that is amazing, but still it plays into the fun parts of the beach scenes and the flying. I mean, the flying, everything so real. Pulling 10 Gs. I like you feel like you're there with it. I still have not watched this. I still have not watched this on 4K, but I know I've been saying that I need to, and I'm going to, I promise, because I know this was in theaters for so long and they really worked on. I missed another movie. Oh my god, I missed another movie. Wow, I'm so dumb. This whole list is on Letterboxd for those who are wondering. I know this is a long live and a lot of people. This whole list is on Letterboxd, so I will add these other ones. I'm surprised I didn't add one of the other ones, but Top Gun Maverick is amazing. I just want to address this comment. I did not see Argentina. Unfortunately, did not see All Quiet on the Western Front, although I like it. Marcel, I didn't see. After Sun, I saw. Should totally be on this. I would say probably, oh god, probably around the. I'd probably put it in between the Menu and Fresh. I don't know how I thought I had this on here, so that's weird. I thought I put it on there, but for some reason I didn't. After Sun was great, and to Leslie I did not see, but I heard the performance is great. But yes, After Sun is incredible. You guys should all see it. It's so subtle, and After Sun is great. As I said, it would be about number 14, 15-ish. Movie that builds up to something, and then when the reveal finally is there, you're like, wow, because you can tell there's something going on and hints of it. Really great. Yeah, IMAX. But my number one film of 2022, you guys already know what it is. I don't want to say this, but before the movie came out, I assumed it was going to be my favorite of the year just because this character is my favorite character of all time. This movie, when it was first announced, the casting was interesting, and then I went back and watched this actor's other more recent movies, and I was so hyped. That first trailer came out, and I think it is one of the best trailers of all time. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. A movie that I saw at a fan screening like 2 days before it actually came out, and then saw a week later in theaters once again. I hit myself in the eye, but that is The Batman. I mean, come on. What I was gonna say, what can I say that I haven't already? But I reviewed this movie. Yes. I mean, that first trailer came out, and I never had a trailer reaction like that, and it was all fully genuine. Paul Dano was perfect as the Riddler. Selena Kyle, or what is her name? Oh my god. Zoe Kravitz. Yes, that's her name. I was like, Kravitz. Yeah. So good. But Robert Pattinson, just the perfect emo Bruce Wayne, as so many people like to say, but it's such a fun, different take on that. Well, I wouldn't say fun, but just a dark, brooding take. The Batmobile scene is one of the best ever, probably the best Batmobile we've ever seen. Although, obviously I still do prefer the Dark Knight. As of right now, I would even put it above Batman Begins and the Dark Knight Rises, which is something that I never thought I'd say in my life, because you see, well, you can't see it, but the posters are there. Favorite trilogy of all time, some of my favorite movies. This is by far one of my favorite movies of all time. Everything about it was something I wanted. It felt like the Arkham games, which I've played, Arkham Knight, and I played that before, and I played part of Arkham Asylum, and I've seen parts from Arkham City, which is supposed to be the best one. Matt Reeves was just amazing here. Everybody so good. The Penguin series is coming out. I mean, you're going to see me make tons of videos on this movie. Now, talking about it, I'm probably going to watch it within the next few nights again, because I still haven't watched it on 4K, but I did see it twice in theaters. I never, well, very rarely see movies twice in theaters. Like, I'm just looking back on this list, I don't think I saw any of these other movies twice in theaters, just because it's harder for me to. In the future, I definitely will, after some things that I'll talk about in a few months. But the Batman, favorite movie of 2022. I bought the like this like special edition Blu-ray thing that has like the folding case and the stand, that only had the Blu-ray in it. Bought this separately just so I could put it in there. I love it. I basically bought two versions of it, which I never normally do, and I'm going to give away that version of the Batman, because I don't really need two copies. But even like, I want to buy the steelbook for this, or many steelbooks. I mean, like, this is stuff that, like, I'm also just a Batman collector as well. I have almost all the Funko Pops for the Funko Pop for him with, I mean, we have Bruce Wayne with the showing the actual eye makeup. That alone was just like, that explains how good this movie is. You guys all know that. You guys have probably all seen it once, if not multiple times. One of my favorite movies of all time. Those are my favorite movies of the year. I know I missed a few there. While looking at the list, I watched about 42, 43. I will throw those on: After Sun, Violent Night, a few of those ones. But thank you all for joining. Means a lot. I will be doing another live stream soon. I'm trying to, I don't want to say raise money, but I'm trying to make some money in order to buy a certain guitar pedal, a Digitech Whammy 5, that I hope to do sometime in the next little bit. So I'm going to do more of a guitar type stream to get some donations. But thank you so much, everybody join. I know that Jason's been here basically the whole time. We had 1, 2, 3 rock fan here a lot of time. E Ripley was here. Thank you so much. We had what is, I gotta get everybody's. I always feel like if it's like a smaller stream, gotta get everybody's name. We had Alex Lopez, of course. We had I think it's Natalia, McCabe. We had, I think, yeah, those were Trent Martin, as always. The same comments. And yeah, those were. So if you're watching on the replay, let me know. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, 1, 2, 3 rock fan. Thank you, everybody. Everybody who sent me something or helped with this. It was a great year for movies overall. Some stinkers, obviously, but now we have The Last of Us in 15 minutes. So I will be posting a short after I watch that. Thank you all for joining. I will have the Megan review out, or the reaction, sorry, out in the next few days. A video analysis out tomorrow for The Bride of Frankenstein, as well as a bunch of other awesome, fun videos and a live stream sometime soon. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys next time. Over and out.